Hello and welcome to the first episode of Peeking into Success. I hope that this podcast is something you'll enjoy. Hopefully, we're going to get a lot of different faces on for you to hear their stories in the upcoming weeks. And I'm open for suggestions on Twitter and Instagram, which the handles will be Peeking into Success, the same as the podcast. So have a look at them. So with me, I've got man like Mykes, who's approaching 100k. Hopefully, he'll have it on TikTok by the time this goes out. So, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. So, tell me a bit about yourself. So, man like Mykes, and elaborate for anyone who doesn't know that handle.
Man like Mykes is, well, it's me. It's my online presence. It is it's all of my social medias. It is my YouTube, my Twitters, my TikToks, my Instagrams, all of it. Man like Mykes is a football loving, beer drinking, hooligan loving, Brexit tackle loving geezer. Is probably the best way I would describe him.
That's a good way of rounding him up. How are you spelling it for, of course, people listening?
So it's man, as you would spell man, M-A-N, Lyke, L-Y-K-E, and then Mykes, M-Y-K-E-S. So you replace the I's with Y's.
Easy for everyone to remember, thank you.
Very easy.
So let's delve right into it. What got you into the persona of man like Mykes?
That is a hell of a question. It's a little bit of a mixture of me, of who I am, mixed with friends, family. It's sort of a concoction of people that I've been surrounded by my entire life. A lot of it, is true to who I am. I do love football. I do love beer. And that sort of that thing is 100% genuine. You can see me down the pub drinking Carling and watching football. Obviously, some of it is heightened for social media, as is always. But that's what the punters love, and it's getting into the persona. It was quite easy. It was a little bit of an evolution of a development. It was seeing what people like to see. It was seeing what I liked to post. And it sort of, it evolved from being Mykes, which was the original channel. It was just M-Y-K-E-S, Mykes. And then it evolved and football took more over the social media side of it. Beer took an even greater side over onto it. And it just evolved, and I'll be perfectly, it continues to evolve. It is an ever-moving character or persona, or it might even, it's a little bit hard to tell where man like Mike starts and I actually, start as well.
That makes sense. I mean, I met you on TikTok, not even 1,000 followers deep, and your content was completely different to what we've evolved into now. So, of course,
100%, yeah.
As of course we move on later down in the questions, you'll probably tell us where that story may develop further. But going on to, of course, the football and that kind of thing, what do you think the career high or your biggest achievements been with the channel?
Well, as you mentioned in the instruction, thank you. Hopefully, fingers crossed, 100k very soon. I think that will definitely be a high moment for me. But then there's been so many massive wins that have been on this journey that, looking back now, they're quite small wins. So when I first hit 100, actually going back even further, when I hit 10 followers, to me that was insane and incredible. Then I hit 100 and I thought that was amazing, and then 1,000 and I could go live and I thought, wow, this is amazing. And to me, it was the biggest thing that had happened to me. And obviously now looking back, 10 followers is something I would get in, I don't know, if I put out a really good video, I could hit 10 out of 10 followers in a second. When I got my first proper viral video, Before the man like Mykes took over, I had a video telling a story of when I applied for Naked Attraction during my university days, and that hit, I don't know, 600,000 views. Sorry, and that to me was a massive, massive thing. Now, without the 100K, because at this moment in time we haven't hit it, I would say my biggest defining achievement would be my 3-pin videos, all over 2 million views. So when I hit my first video over 1 million views, that was, again, mind-blowing and insane, and I still strive to do that, and I've got, a collection that I've added to it. And now to have 3 that I can showcase to the world, that this many people have seen it, that in total 6 or nearly 7 million people have seen these videos, is something that now will blow my mind. And maybe in future I might look back and go, wow, that was quite a small win at the time. Fingers crossed, because that means I would have got even bigger. But that for me at this moment is just the biggest thing and the biggest sense of accomplishment that I would say that I've achieved so far.
Perfect. No, I mean, completely. I've kind of seen your journey grow, so I've kind of felt like I've gone from a third person point of view, watched your journey and watched how it's developed. I've seen your lives. I've seen you kind of, especially as you've got another channel that we'll talk about hopefully later, to do with, of course, Misfits, and how, of course, I kind of follow along with that as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, Adam, you've been there since literally day dot. We've had conversations since the very beginning, and you are the oldest person. So it's, for me, although this is the closest we've come to meeting, I see you as a friend.
100%.
You've always been the constant on that journey and supporting, and I love each and every follower and person who likes and follows and subscribes, whatever. But as you said, you've sort of been there from the very start, and it's just incredible to have someone like that.
No, 100%. I mean, I appreciate that. Of course, I was kind of on trying to grow followers at the same time as you, but of course you've kind of surpassed me tenfold now. But it's just lovely being able to go on and seeing all them comments that you're getting, and on your lives people are just interacting with you. And you're occasionally coming across some idiots, but I mean you're actually getting out to a demographic which of course is enjoying your content, and I'm being one of them. But of course, with the 2 million view videos, would you say they're your career defining moment, or when do you think your career on TikTok took a turn?
I mean, when I hit 10,000 followers and I could join the Creator Fund, that was something that was insane, because I started to get paid for something that I would quite happily do for free. And that sort of helped me fund a little bit more freedom, shall we say, with videos. I can invest in better quality videos and things like that. So I would say that was probably the career defining, although it's it was a while ago and things like, it's obviously grown a lot more since then. That for me was the first stepping stone that allowed me to start running, shall we say.
That makes sense. Yeah, 100%. I've just thought of something that is a bit off topic, but it's just come to my mind, and I need to ask you: is man like Mykes against Italians, or is that is that generally something that you've kind of has been instilled in you, and you're just like, due to footballing reasons, I don't like Italians, so you kind of run with it and created it into a bigger persona?
That is a hell of a question. No, obviously, I mean, for me, I would always preach equality and fairness, and I would never promote discrimination.
Oh no!
Or anything before we get anywhere.
No, of course.
But yeah, I mean, when I watched the Euros, or 2 years ago it was now,
Yeah.
Obviously, Giorgio Chiellini absolutely broke my heart putting back Saka. To to this day, it still hurts, and that still hurts me. That hurts man like Mykes a little bit more, but it hurts me probably even, hurts me to the core. Obviously, I don't blame all Italians.
No.
Solely Giorgio Chiellini for something that if Harry Maguire had done, I would be praising him to the ends of the earth.
No, fair enough. I just thought of it, and I just thought it's something to mention. So moving on. Of course, is there any video that you regret making? So is there something that maybe you put up, say for example, got misunderstood? So of course we've just had a joke about the Italians, but of course, is there anything you put up and then it's been totally blown out of proportion, and you've thought, oh, I've had to take it down, or you've made something and thought, oh, I can't upload that because of a certain reason?
I would say that as I was growing and I was sort of starting on this journey that obviously I'm still on, there was obviously, my opinion was there's no such thing as bad press. So if I put something out and it got, blown out of proportion, and I would be like, well, that's not me. That is Mykes. And there's a little bit reason for the persona sort of thing, where I'm coming from.
Okay, yeah.
So I wouldn't say I regret anything. I think, I mean, in life in general, I don't really regret anything that I've done because you learn from it.
Yeah.
And it will help you develop something in some way. Nothing's ever 100% negative. That's what I think, at least.
No.
So I wouldn't say there's anything that I regret. There might be ones that maybe I don't like. I do have, changing it slightly, I do have a sort of, less so a little bit now, but I still have it of whenever I uploaded a video, especially when I was doing quite well, the 20 to 40k mark sort of thing, when it was doing really well and blowing up, over the course of a week. Whenever I put out a video, I'd be scared, is probably the word I'd use, and I'd be petrified that was the video that would end it all.
Really?
That would be the video that nobody would like, nobody would laugh. It just wouldn't get any traction, and people go, oh, yeah, fair enough, I used to watch him, but now, yeah, he's just not funny anymore. Or, I've grown bored of it. Obviously with trends and things, people get bored quite easily, and I still have that sort of feeling of it. So I probably do regret every video I upload to a degree the seconds after I posted it.
Right.
And then I have to turn my phone off and put it away and go, right, go and do something else. And then I'll come back to it in like an hour and we'll see how it's getting on, have a look at it. Right, no, it's fine. My greatest fear probably hasn't been realised. It's actually doing all right,
No, that makes sense. Is there any that, of course, after that hour you put up and then think, oh, I need to delete this? Or do you check the numbers and think, oh, it's not doing well, I'll delete it because it doesn't kind of fall in line with the rest?
Yeah, I used to. If a video didn't do great in an hour, I used to delete it. I'll be perfectly honest. I used to look at it and go, oh, nobody likes it, what's the point in having it up? That means that if you get no interaction on it, it's no fun for me either, because it's a bit like I was having a conversation, but if you're not here, I'm just talking to this wall.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You have to have that interaction to have a bit of fun. Whether it be someone say something, offensive or, out you about something completely irrelevant, but at least you've got a bit of discourse going. But now I don't delete any of them because it goes up, and if it does well, it does well, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, and I can learn from it. And doesn't mean that it won't do well in the future. In a few months, it might suddenly come back on the FYP, the wonders of TikTok that I really don't understand. And suddenly it might be, let's say, a career-defining video. You don't know.
No, that's fair enough. Of course, we mentioned it briefly earlier, but of course you've got football isn't kind of your only sport that you kind of focus on. Of course, there's boxing as well, and the wonderful world of influencer boxing. Do I explain that channel to me briefly?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I co-host Boxing Hub, with the O being a zero, because Boxing Hub was already taken as a name. Damn bastards, they took it before us. So that's me and my friend Bobby P, who I went to university with.
Nice.
And when I was like on, I think 4,000 followers or something, I was really, I don't know, insecure about having TikTok and uploading videos on TikTok because I didn't know anybody that did it. I didn't really have anybody to speak to about it. So he came over one night and we were watching, it was some sort of Misfits event, I'm sure it was. And then we had a discussion. I said, oh, just to let you know, I've got 4,000 followers, which at the time to me was an insane number, and it still is the fact that for what I was doing. And I told him about it. So we went live and watched it, and it did really well. And we got, some really nice comments and even some gifts and things like that. And then we had a discussion a week, maybe 2 weeks later, and we decided to set up the channel together. So it was like a joint project that we both and both upload videos, both do the live, both have conflicting interests on it and things like that. And yeah, it's all about influencer boxing and Misfits as a main thing as well.
Okay, so my follow-on question is going to be, who in the space at the moment would you choose to fight if you could be given a one-off fight? They say, we'll give you a lump sum just to go in, win, lose, draw. Who would you go for?
Wow, that's a hell of a question. Well, obviously KSI, because the money would be insane.
Oh, of course.
I don't think I'd win. I think I'd probably get absolutely scared and have a panic attack in the dressing room. But obviously him. But if it wasn't him and it was someone that I really wanted to do, I did call out another content creator, and I did try and get a fight organised with him, but it fell through. And that was a man called Bevo, who has something like 80,000 on TikTok and 8,000 on Instagram and something like that. He does like, I think he calls it music comedy.
Okay.
He just sort of popped up, and he just lost a fight on something called Sunday Smoke, and he was calling people out. And I thought, you know what? He looks about my size. Let's have it. And it was a back and forth for ages, and then he ditched me to try and fight somebody else, and that fell through. And now, in the nicest possible way, I think I'm above him and over him, and he had his opportunity, and it's gone.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm sure there's people that have got less followers than you that are getting opportunities. So, I mean, if the opportunity came up, you'd 100% be able to get into it now, wouldn't you?
I would absolutely love it. I'm not going to beat around the bush and try and be modest. That would be insane. I have, 2 goals for, I don't know, the next year or so. One of them's to be in a charity football match, because that would be incredible to raise some money for, a charity of some kind and get to play football for it, which seemed better, because I absolutely love football. And one is to do a boxing match, which again could be for charity, could not be for charity. Either way, get me back in the ring and, try and shift some of the lard that I've accrued over the last year or two.
I mean, that's how your channel started with the whole. It was the Tyson Fury plan, wasn't it, that you were following initially? Did you ever finish the plan?
No, I didn't. I got, it's a 12-week plan, and I've got to, I think it was 10 and a half weeks.
So near the end.
Yeah, I got really close, and then I had to, for the plan, for the people that don't know, I had to work out every single day, and I filmed all the workouts and uploaded them, and then I filmed what I ate and things like that. And at the start, for the first 4 weeks, let's say, I used to get up before going to work. I'd film the video, I'd do the workout, and I'd try and do some other sort of exercise during the day. It could be walking, it could be running, it could be whatever. And then as the time went on, I preferred to lie in more and more. And then I had to go to work. And then that meant in the evenings I had to go and do a workout. And then evenings became last thing before bed. And then that became, I just don't want to do it. I want to go to bed. And then it got to about 10 and a half weeks. And I was still uploading the odd Tyson Fury workout and trying to keep fit and everything and, all that jazz. But I was uploading different kind of content, a bit of comedy, a bit of football, a bit of opinion stuff on my TikTok. I was enjoying that more. So that's sort of the first stepping stone to stepping away from the weight loss page and the weight loss, I don't know what to call it, content, to what eventually became what I am now.
Fair play. So, if you got called out, could that Tyson Fury plan come back around for the fight?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, if I was in a camp for a fight, I think I'd have to obviously go to my boxing gym and do the rounds in and the sparring and all that nonsense, and I'd probably film that for content, because who doesn't love a little bit of boxing content?
Oh, exactly.
And I would most probably do it because it did help me lose quite a lot of weight in a short space of time. It was just, the motivation dripped off in the last 2 weeks, unfortunately. But yeah, no, 100%. I think that would be a hell of a blast from the past. And I'm sure now, with the experience that I've got from this, I'm sure the editing and the production value would be a lot better. Because back then, the production value and the editing and the cuts and the voiceovers were all, looking back, pretty poor,
Yeah.
So I'm sure it would come back in an even better form than what it was.
There you go. Brilliant. So to kind of round up, out of everything that we've spoken about today, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would you give?
Start earlier.
So, in terms of earlier, how early is, of course, was it around the start of 2022 that you started?
My first video was July 2022.
Okay.
So that's just under a year ago now. If I could turn around and speak to 18-year-old me, I would just say film everything, do content. I've always been, I don't want to be that guy, but I've always been quite funny. I've always tried to make people laugh. I've always thought humour was the best method to go, in no matter what form it is. It could be insulting footballers, or it could be comparing things that don't need to be compared, but it's random and a bit of humour. I would tell 18-year-old me just to start then, because you find so much joy in it. And the numbers, and there's not a lot of money, I'll be perfectly honest, but there's a bit of money in it. That's all well and good, and that's lovely. But the enjoyment that I get from filming videos and the stress relief for that just makes it a million times better. So my advice to younger me and to anybody listening is to just start early and start now. Don't keep putting it off. Just film things that you enjoy and do things that you want to enjoy. It might not even be content, but just do stuff that you really enjoy, and try new things, because then you'll eventually find the thing that makes you feel at home.
No, 100%. And I mean, as it shows with what we've spoken about today, you tried multiple things and you found your niche and you've ran with it. So, of course, that kind of shows to me, like, of course, never give up and try again, isn't it? 100%. So,
never give up, ever.
So, just to kind of conclude, of course, where are people going to find you mainly? Where do you want people to find you?
Well, I think most people would find me on TikTok. That's my main avenue that I film videos and things like that. I'm currently trying to pump up my Instagram, so if you're ever interested, man like Mykes on Instagram, go check that out. And then I'm still uploading things like some YouTube shorts, and I'm on Twitter as well, but probably TikTok and Instagram, my two biggest ones.
Brilliant, thank you. Right,
absolutely no worries.
Right, thank you for this.